Alright, so now we can continue from where we had ended in our previous class. So in our previous class, we ended on the SWOT analysis. Okay, we didn't really look at it. We just concluded on the types of plans that exist that you must ensure that you implement, or at least you come up with as you generate your entire plan. So in your plan, you must be able to have all these different types of plan invested inside or injected inside as you come up with your general or grand plan. So I remember we looked at, for example, there's this plan known as the functional plan. So the functional plan deals with the structure of your organization. So under each department of your organization, there has to be a plan that will be able to help you achieve the certain goal or objective that you want to achieve. So if your project that you are implementing, okay, it involves production. Of course, production means a lot of things. It can be production of food, it can be production of electrical appliances, it can be production of technological gadgets, it can be production of clothes, it can be production of drinks, it can be production of cakes, it can be production of anything. So under the production department, you must be able to say, okay, so in our project, what we are producing is food, or we are producing cakes, isn't it? And then once you know, okay, so we are producing cakes, then you begin to make a production plan for producing cake. Okay, and then of course you need to know, okay, so how many cakes are we supposed to produce? What type of cakes are we supposed to produce? Okay, how much of these resources do we need, or how much of resources do we need so that we can be able to produce this given cake? What time is required, okay, for us to complete producing this type of cake in this amount and given this type of resources? So you begin to figure out all of that under the production plan. Then under the financial plan, you figure out, okay, so how much money do we need for us to be able to meet purchasing or buying of the resources, or in this case ingredients required for us to be able to make this cake? Okay, do we have this money? Okay, so since maybe we might not have all of it, how are we going to source for the money, for the other money that is needed? So all of that is supposed to come under the financial plan. And then facilities, this is where you look at, okay, so do we need a warehouse? Do we need a oven or ovens? Do we need stoves? Do we need fridges? Okay. So is there any nearest place where we can be able to rent a warehouse where there are stoves and fridges and stuff like that, just to facilitate the production of your given goods and services? Then under logistics, this is where you simply look at movement or transportation of things. So it might start with transportation of the same resources that you require in order to produce your product. Then it would go all the way on to supplying your products. So you begin to figure out the logistics, what type of car would be suitable. Do we need, since our product that we are producing is a cake and it needs to be transported, maybe let's say in a cool refrigerated environment, what type of cars do we need? Okay, maybe we need refrigerated cars, so all of that you begin to formulate under the logistic plan so that you can be able to figure out the movement and the transportation, so as to ensure that you are able to implement your given project successfully. Then under the marketing plan, here is simply the stage or the part where you have to figure out how you can be able to advertise your given products. If it means you are producing this product for selling, then you begin to figure out, okay, so what's the best platform to market our products or our cakes. Maybe we need to start running advertisement on Facebook. Maybe we need to start sticking posters. Maybe we need to start giving out brochures and so on and so forth. And then under human resource, this is where you simply just get to figure out the necessary or required skills that you need for you to be able to produce that given cake. So you need maybe a chef, you need people that are skilled in cake production. You know, I'm not really into cake production, but I'm just using it as an example so as to just explain what we mean by functional plans. So functional plans, these simply fall under the structure of your organization, and then you make all these sub plans so as to ensure that you are able to implement or you are able to function as an organization. Then there's forecasting, then there's contingency planning, which we discussed in our previous class or previous video. All right, so now today we are going to start by looking at SWOT analysis. So SWOT is simply just an abbreviation, okay, that stands for, that as each letter standing for something. So under SWOT, okay, so under SWOT here, we have got the first letter. So let me just wrap this. We have got the first letter, which is S. S here. So the S stands for strength. Okay, the S stands for strength. So when you are making a plan, it is always important that you conduct a SWOT analysis. So the first thing that you have to do is analyze the strength of a given project before you can make a plan. So you look at things like, okay, what things are we good at? Okay, what things do you seem to see? Okay, so in this project that we are doing of implementing cakes, maybe you are good at mixing the flour. You are not really good at timing how long this cake is supposed to spend in the oven. So you look at all your strengths and the things that you are good at, and then after that, then you go to the next one, which is W, which stands for weakness. Okay, stands for weakness. So under weakness here, this is where you get to now identify your weaknesses. So what are you weak at? Maybe in this program or this project of implementing or producing a cake, you realize to say, okay, though I'm good at mixing the flour and everything, I am not really good when it comes to decorating the cake. Okay, so you begin to jot down the weaknesses that you have as in with regards to implementing your given project, which in this case we are given an example of cake production. And then after you have done that, then you go to the third thing, which is opportunity. You get to look at the opportunities that is available. So under opportunity here, maybe it might be, maybe let's say maybe geographical area. Maybe you are in an area that's a bit close, or maybe the facilities that you are using are closer to the marketplace. So you begin to jot down to say, okay, we have an opportunity here because at least our facilities where we are producing this thing is close to the market, meaning it will be easy for us to quickly transport our product, merchandise, or cake in this scenario to the marketplace so that it can be quickly be made available on the market. Another thing can be, maybe let's say you have all the skilled people, okay, or maybe let's say the technology which you are using to create this cake is a little bit more advanced and less costly. Okay, so all of those can be opportunities to your advantage, okay, that you are able to use. And then last but not the least, you must be able to identify the threats that you are more likely to face towards the implementation of your given project. So under threats here, you just get to analyze things that can be a challenge or that can be able to negatively affect your project as you try to implement it or as you implement it. So maybe let's say after you have figured out your strengths, your weakness, and your opportunity, the threat maybe can be that uh, you have another person maybe that is also within close proximity that is also producing cakes. As a result, there might be stiff competition. Apart from that, maybe it might be, maybe let's say the threats will be in terms of transportation. Maybe you don't really have a lot of vehicles around to be able to help you carry these cakes on time, and so on and so forth. So there can be a lot, but it will be up to you to analyze and see based on the project that you want to implement what the risks are. You should remember we said a good project manager is someone that always anticipates, okay, the challenges that might affect the implementation of easy projects. And then from there, you must be able to use what is known as the what's this? The last plan that we discussed, which is the contingency plan. All right, so a good project manager must be able to analyze the threats or the risk and then come up with a contingency plan or an alternative course of action that they must be able to implement in order to counteract with those threats or factors that might negatively affect the implementation of their given project. Alright, so by definition, a SWOT analysis is a simple way of analyzing the current situation and defining a future plan on how to build on strengths, reduce weaknesses, maximize opportunities, and remove threats. So, all in all, a SWOT analysis is just a smart way of being able to analyze the current environment, okay, before you begin to make a plan. So that even as you make a plan, you make a plan first of all that is strong, okay, or that is built on strengths, and it has reduced on weaknesses, and then it has maximized on opportunities, and then it has harvested itself from the threats that the project you're implementing is most likely to face. All right, so that's on the SWOT analysis, and henceforth concludes and ends our subtopic which falls under planning. So planning is of crucial significance at every level of society. An organization must have an operational plan that clearly shows how it will achieve its strategic intent in order for it to justify its existence and survive in this competitive and dynamic world. Of course, as you also know, planning, the failure to plan, okay, is just the opposite of planning to fail. So it is always important that we are able to plan before we can begin implementing or taking courses of actions. And not only that, but it is very important that we also know ways about how we can be able to properly plan or make a good plan that will work out in the best interest of the projects that we want to implement. All right, so now we continue, and we now start looking at what is known as the work breakdown structure. Okay, so work breakdown structure goes hand in hand with the development of an organization's structure. By this, it simply just means you must be able, as a project manager, okay, you must be able to first do a research, then find out the activities and tasks that will be required for you to be able to implement your given project. Okay, and once you have identified the list of all the activities, then you begin to group them based on those that are aligning with each other. So tasks that will be involved under marketing, you group them under the marketing department. Tasks that will be involved with finance, such as sourcing of funds, expenditure, tracking costs, and so on and so forth, you put them under finance. Activities or tasks that will be involved with maybe let's say production, you also group them and put them under production. Then after doing that, you must now begin to delegate, okay? Delegate these tasks to people that will be suitable with the skills, okay? That can be able to handle this responsibility or responsibilities and the tasks, okay? So by doing that, then you come up with a structure, and this structure is what is known as a work breakdown structure. So a work breakdown structure is a logical hierarchical tree of all the tasks needed to complete a given project, also known as WBS, means breaking down the project down to manageable chunks from which work can be allocated to departmental managers and other members of the project organization. So if we can see on our screen, we have got an example of a work breakdown structure for a given charity organization. So if you can see, the first thing is we have the name of the project, which is called the charity project. And then from there, we have got the departments, okay? Departments under which various tasks and activity are bundled or fall under. So we've got, for example, the public relations department, which simply has to do with the publicity, okay, of the project or the organization. So here, people maybe let's say that have done journalism are more likely to be found under this department so that they can be able to help with maintaining the public image of the given organization or handling, the public face or image of the project that is being implemented or this charity project. Then apart from that, we have got another department which is under local events, which you have people that are skilled in maybe let's say event organization, event planning, and so on and so forth. We have got flag the street collections. I'm not really sure what is under here, but yes, the people that are skilled will come and fall under this department. And each department, of course, will be headed by a manager, departmental manager. Then we've got another department which is banking and security. So banking is also just another term for finances. So people that are trained or skilled in handling of finances for projects such as the sourcing of funds, expenditure of funds, tracking of costs, and so on and so forth will come and fall under this given department. And from here, we can be able to see that you have created a hierarchical tree, okay, which shows a project being broken down into various tasks that will be required to implement this given project. Not only that, but you're also able to see how various tasks are being delegated or given to various people that are equipped or skills for those given tasks and the responsibility or responsibilities. So as you go down, you can be able to see there's also another example of a work breakdown structure, but all in all, it's just one and the same thing that I've explained. For this one, we can see it's a railway project and it has got departments that are aligned in ensuring that you are able to achieve or implement this given project of railway. So we've got the legal and finance department, where I'm sure you'll be able to find people that are trained in finances, maybe accountants, investment people, and then for legal, you have people that are trained, maybe let's say lawyers, public administration, and so on and so forth, that are able to handle the finance and the legal, the legality or legal issues of this given project. They will ensure that as the project is being implemented, everything is flowing according to the rules and regulation of the given country or place or environment, and they will ensure that they are not breaking any rules or laws. Apart from that, we have got the engineering department. So these are basically the people that will be now in charge of designing the railway line. You know, the engineers, they will ensure that they design the railway line and how it will move and so on and so forth. Then we've got building here, where we're able to see licensed buildings, bridges, and so on and so forth. So these will deal with the buildings that will be involved in implementing this given project of railway. So whenever maybe let's say you are building a railway, maybe this railway will require stations. So people that are good at building stations will come and fall under the buildings department. If the railway project will have to pass through the bridge or over the bridge, people that are skilled at handling railway lines passing through bridges and so on and so forth will fall under the buildings department. Apart from that, we've got an electrical power department, which will be looking at the electrical components or the electrical component of the given project. So in order for, let's say, a train, if this train is an electric train, in order for it to be able to operate, okay, it will need an electrical power source. So these electricians will make sure that they oversee the electrical issues that will be able to enable this train to operate and move, and then so on and so forth. Alright, so we've got another example of project, which is a wedding project. And as you can see, there's event planning, catering, so on and so forth. Okay, so all of these are self-explanatory. So we are just going to end here for our class today. Then when we come and meet in our next class, we shall continue with our class. So in your own spare time, please do make sure you go through these, the ones which I have not had proper time to go through with you guys. But of course, they are simple and self-explanatory, but just go through them so that you can be able to familiarize more. And not only that, but also try to come up with your own projects. Okay, maybe it's just this, it can even be just simple projects. Maybe let's say a birthday party, um, maybe let's say if you are into event organizing, or maybe building of a house, building of a gym, and try to come up with a work breakdown structure. All right, so this is where we shall end in our class for today, and yeah, see you in our next class.